The top creatures of Chernobyl, unveiling the mysteries of the exclusion zone. Hey there, folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world's most intriguing places. Today, we're venturing into a land shrouded in mystery, steeped in history, and teeming with tales that'll make you question reality itself. That's right, we're heading to the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Have you ever wondered what really goes on in this abandoned landscape? Are the stories of strange creatures roaming the area true? Buckle up, because we're about to explore the myths, the realities, and everything in between. Alright, let's set the scene. It's April 26, 1986, a date that's etched into history. In the early hours of the morning, Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine explodes during a safety test gone horribly wrong. The explosion sends a plume of radioactive material into the atmosphere, creating one of the worst nuclear disasters the world has ever seen. The nearby city of Pripyat, once a bustling town of nearly 50,000 people, is evacuated within hours. Buses line the streets, and residents are told they'll return in a few days. Spoiler alert: they never came back. The area around the plant becomes the infamous exclusion zone, a 2,600 square kilometer area that's off limits to most people. With humans gone, nature begins to reclaim the land. Buildings crumble under the weight of overgrown vegetation, streets become forests, and wildlife starts to roam freely. And as the years pass, whispers and legends about mutated creatures and unexplained phenomena start to emerge. So, what's fact, what's fiction, and what's just plain bizarre? Let's dive in. The Chernobyl exclusion zone today. First things first, what's the exclusion zone like nowadays? Imagine an area larger than Luxembourg, where time has stood still for over 3 decades. It's like stepping into a post-apocalyptic world, silent, eerie, yet strangely beautiful. Old amusement parks, schools, hospitals, all abandoned. Yet, amidst the decay, nature is thriving. Trees grow through buildings, animals roam the empty streets, and the boundary between the man-made and natural worlds blurs. But don't let the serene landscape fool you. Radiation levels have decreased significantly since 1986, but pockets of high radiation, known as hotspots, still exist. Geiger counters are a must if you're planning to visit. And yes, you can visit. Guided tours have become quite popular, especially after the hit HBO series, Chernobyl, aired. The reality of radiation and mutation. Now, let's chat about mutations. When we hear radiation, many of us think of superheroes or giant monsters. Thanks, Hollywood. But how does radiation actually affect living organisms? Radiation can damage cellular DNA, leading to mutations during cell division. Most mutations are neutral or harmful, and beneficial mutations are incredibly rare. So, the odds of radiation creating a superpowered creature are slim to none. Sorry, X-Men fans. Scientists have been studying the flora and fauna in Chernobyl for decades. They've observed increased mutation rates, but these often result in reduced fertility or shortened lifespans, nothing visible to the naked eye. So, while there might be genetic changes, you're not going to see a rabbit with 3 eyes hopping around. Notable wildlife in Chernobyl. Despite, or perhaps because of, the radiation, wildlife in the exclusion zone is booming. Let's meet some of the residents. The resurgence of native species. Wolves. These apex predators are thriving in Chernobyl. Studies suggest that the wolf population is up to 7 times higher than in surrounding areas. Without humans hunting them or encroaching on their habitat, wolves have become the kings and queens of the zone. Bears. Brown bears, once rare in the region, have made a comeback. They've been spotted rummaging through abandoned villages and foraging in the forests. Lynxes. These elusive big cats have returned as well. Their populations were previously dwindling due to human activity, but now they're making a stealthy resurgence. Rare and endangered species. Przewalski horses. In a twist straight out of a fairy tale, these rare wild horses were introduced to the zone in the 1990s. Thought to be the last truly wild horse species, they've adapted remarkably well to the environment, and their numbers are growing. European bison. Also known as wisents, these massive creatures are Europe's heaviest land animals. They've found a sanctuary in the exclusion zone, roaming freely without fear of hunters. Birds and small mammals. Bird life has flourished too. Species like the white-tailed eagle, black stork, and even the endangered greater spotted eagle have made Chernobyl their home. Small mammals like voles and mice have been studied extensively. While they've shown some genetic adaptations, they're generally doing well. Mythical creatures and urban legends. Now, let's get to the juicy part, the legends and myths that have captured imaginations worldwide. The blackbird of Chernobyl. According to some accounts, in the days leading up to the disaster, workers at the power plant reported seeing a terrifying creature, a large, black, bird-like figure with glowing red eyes. They called it the blackbird of Chernobyl. Some believe it was a harbinger of doom, similar to the Mothman legend in the United States. So, is there any truth to this tale? Likely not. Psychologists suggest it could be stress-induced hallucinations or misidentified wildlife. Large birds like owls can appear ominous, especially in low light. But hey, it's a spine-chilling story nonetheless. Giant catfish in cooling ponds. Fishermen in the area have long told tales of giant catfish inhabiting the cooling ponds near the reactor. Some claim these fish have grown to monstrous sizes due to radiation exposure. In reality, catfish are known to grow quite large, especially when they have plenty of food and few predators. The warm water from the power plant could have contributed to their growth. So, while they're big, they're not mutants, just well-fed fish living their best lives. Mutant insects and spiders. Then there are stories of giant insects and spiders the size of dinner plates crawling around the exclusion zone. Sounds like something out of a horror movie, right? Well, entomologists who've studied the area haven't found any evidence of oversized creepy crawlies. Radiation can cause mutations in insects, but these often result in reduced viability, not gigantism. So, you can breathe a sigh of relief, no giant spiders here. The role of media and pop culture. Let's face it, movies, video games, and books have played a huge role in shaping our perceptions of Chernobyl. Influence of video games and movies. Games like Stalker and movies like Chernobyl Diaries depict the exclusion zone as a terrifying place filled with mutants, paranormal activity, and all sorts of horrors. While they're entertaining, they blur the line between fiction and reality. These portrayals tap into our fears of the unknown and the unseen dangers of radiation. They make for great storytelling but can overshadow the real stories of resilience and recovery happening in Chernobyl. Internet stories and photos. The internet is rife with sensational stories and doctored photos claiming to show mutant animals or supernatural occurrences in Chernobyl. Remember that glowing-eyed creature we talked about? Yep, probably a product of Photoshop and a vivid imagination. It's always a good idea to approach such stories with a healthy dose of skepticism. Check your sources, folks. Scientific expeditions and findings. Now, let's get nerdy and talk science. Research teams in the exclusion zone. Scientists from around the world see Chernobyl as a living laboratory. They conduct studies on how radiation affects ecosystems, genetics, and evolution. From botanists to zoologists to radiologists, experts are uncovering some fascinating insights. Effects on plant life. Radiotrophic fungi. Get this, certain fungi in Chernobyl can eat radiation. They use melanin, the same pigment that gives color to our skin and hair, to convert gamma radiation into chemical energy. It's like photosynthesis but with radiation instead of sunlight. Forest anomalies. The red forest is one of the most contaminated areas. Trees there absorbed so much radiation that they turned red and died. Even today, it's an eerie place where new growth is stunted, and the ecosystem is starkly different from surrounding areas. Human encounters and anecdotes. What's a mysterious place without some spooky stories? Accounts from workers and rangers. People who work in the exclusion zone, scientists, guards, and tour guides, sometimes report strange occurrences. Unexplained noises, fleeting shadows, or that unsettling feeling of being watched. But let's be honest, when you're in an abandoned, radiation-contaminated area, your mind can play tricks on you. The creaking of old structures, animals scurrying about, or even the wind can seem supernatural in such a setting. Tours and visitor experiences. Tourists often describe their visits as surreal and haunting. Some claim to have seen odd lights or heard whispers in the silence. But again, the power of suggestion is strong. Knowing the history and the countless tales can make ordinary things seem extraordinary. Environmental lessons from Chernobyl. Chernobyl isn't just about the past, it's teaching us valuable lessons for the future. Nature's resilience. One of the most remarkable aspects of the exclusion zone is how quickly nature began to reclaim the land. Without humans, ecosystems have flourished. This resilience shows that nature can bounce back if given a chance. It's both humbling and inspiring. Implications for conservation. Chernobyl offers insights into how ecosystems function without human interference. It highlights the significant impact we have on the environment. But it also raises ethical questions. The absence of humans due to a disaster isn't a viable conservation strategy. Still, it underscores the importance of sustainable living and environmental stewardship. Separating myth from reality. So, are there mutated monsters lurking in the shadows of Chernobyl? Probably not. While radiation has caused some mutations, there's no evidence of the monstrous creatures from legends. The real story is about nature's incredible ability to adapt and thrive, even in challenging conditions. Reflecting on Chernobyl's legacy, Chernobyl stands as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of nuclear power when things go wrong. But it's also a testament to resilience, both of nature and the human spirit. The lessons learned here are crucial for future generations. Call to action. Let's continue to seek the truth, question sensationalism, and appreciate the wonders of our world, both mysterious and explained. If you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you visited Chernobyl, or do you have any theories about the legends? Let's get the conversation rolling. And don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the world's most fascinating places. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your curiosity alive.